Hello and welcome to this month's edition of What's Cooking Rutland. I'm Bethany Yon. I'm a nutritionist at the Vermont Department of Health and part of Rutland's Nutrition Coalition that brings you this show each month. It is now officially safe to say happy summer because it is June and we are going there. Finally. And I'm so excited to have Courtney Thorn with us this month.
Thank you.
Courtney is a newly minted master in health studies. I'm so excited. A huge congratulations. And we have this fabulous little show that we're putting together for you about trail snacks because it's finally safe to get outside and get onto the trails. And what's fun about that, as I was reflecting and thinking about the show with Courtney's, we met playing on trails, but in the middle of the winter when they were icy and it was ridiculously cold outside.
We had our ice pick shoes on.
We had our ice pick shoes, and even that was just a little terrifying. So now it's really fun to be outside and spending more time on trails. So that project was part of the Come Alive Outside project, which I think a lot of people know about, and up in Addison County. So there was a version that ran up in Middlebury as well. So we were changing out codes for kids Come Alive Outside, and yeah, it truly icy, ridiculously cold. We did not spend a lot of time out there if we had to, but we did what we needed to do.
We did. We accomplished what we set out to.
We did. And so that's the thought with a cooking show is like, well, now that it's summer and we do want to spend more time out on the trail, what are some of the snacks of foods that you want to bring with you? And thinking about making your own so you can kind of control what it is that you're bringing in terms of ingredients, allergens, if that's an issue for your family, portion sizes, and a little creativity and thinking outside of the box.
Yes.
So this show is courtesy of Courtney because she planned all of the recipes for us. It was so fun for me to sure, this sounds great.
It was fun for me too.
Yay.
Plan. Yeah.
Awesome. So we are going to work with chickpeas first.
Yep.
And then go to
the spring rolls.
Yep. So excited about that. And then over on the other side of the kitchen, we have basically my entire pantry has been emptied, and we're going to put together little
energy balls.
And then similar to last month, we are going to chop like crazy because we must get to these
green mojitos. They're alcohol-free, more refreshing after a trail hike, more like smoothie mojitos.
Yeah, so Donna needed to get to cucumber melon salad last month. I must get to those mojitos. So we will get there no matter what. So to shorten up the time a little bit, we've got the chickpeas kind of sort of done in the oven. We'll pull them out in just a second, but how do you prep chickpeas? I mean, so you're a canned chickpea girl too?
Yes, so if you're looking for the simplest route to go with getting your chickpeas, a canned chickpeas, all you need to do is open the can and start by draining them.
Yeah, so we're going to drain and rinse these to get rid of any of the sodium that may be here. And I'm going to rinse this, go to town.
So what we're going to do is just kind of dry them off, but you're going to be somewhat rough about it. Not too rough where you're crushing them, but you really want to get them as dry as possible because that allows them to become as crunchy as possible, which is really what you're looking for. And if some skins start to come off, that's totally fine and completely normal. And
yeah, the recipe I think that you'll find online talks about taking all these little skins off.
We don't do that.
We don't do that. Those skins are just fine, and you can even see, Dan, you've got a great little shot here of the little skin that's separated from the chickpea, and just eat it all. They're great for you.
That's right.
So so then these would go into a pan into the oven, and so we're not working our television magic because I didn't bring multiple versions of the same pan, otherwise we would have. But we are going to grab some that have been in the oven now for, they've been in here, Courtney, like 35-ish
35 minutes.
You can oven mitts.
After 35 minutes, definitely start keeping an eye on them. Taste one or two as they go until they're the crunchiness that you want them to be. And they sound very crunchy. Perfect.
They sound crunchy. So, yay, these are beautiful. And now what? Now we get to season them, which is kind of sort of whatever you want to do, right?
That's right. So what we're going to do today is a really quick and simple seasoning. We're going to take some olive oil and we will open this. And then we'll do about a teaspoon of olive oil.
This is a big pan. Probably don't need one quite this big, but we're just
It'll
using
work.
the great resources that are here. And notice, Courtney, she's measuring oil. Isn't this fabulous? I'm really bad about that.
Are you?
So yeah, so thank you for being
You're
a really
welcome.
awesome role model for me.
No
And
problem.
inspiration for doing this the right way.
And then we're going to use a half a teaspoon of the following spices. We're actually going to use cumin.
Yum.
And we'll just measure this. If you do a little bit over, that's okay.
Not the end of the world.
Not
Some
the
of
end
these
of the world.
things, there's like you can't have too much of them.
And you want to be doing this while the chickpeas are still hot because that'll allow the seasoning and the flavor to actually stick to the chickpeas. And then a little bit of paprika.
Have you ever seasoned them before you toss them into the oven, Courtney? Has that been an experiment or?
So I haven't done it entirely before I've put them in the oven. I have done them where I'll cook them about halfway, take them out, season them, and then put them back in. It really doesn't make much of a difference if you do it halfway through or towards the end, but you do want them to be hot. So that way they'll stick. And Bethany, if you want to kind of shake this up while
so I brought a spoon, but it's not necessary.
while I do some salt here. And you can just use as much salt as you want to flavor them.
Yay. So you can see for the most part, they're picking up the seasoning. So
Perfect.
fun.
And it's
It
very
smells
aromatic.
really good.
It smells
They
delicious.
smell fabulous. They smell fabulous. Okay. So
And then that's it.
that's it. All right. So I have
Let's
to
try
have one
one.
right now. Ooh, very crunchy.
Yeah.
Ooh, yum.
And I think that that's a good amount of salt, but if you want to add more salt, add less salt. You don't have to add any salt. It's still going to be really flavorful. And you can do other flavors as well with other spices, play around with them, and just kind of, get a flavor that you may want to, that you think tastes good.
Yeah, a little garlic
to bring with you. A
would
little
be
garlic
yummy.
would be really good.
Yummy. And so these can get packed into anything really, but an airtight container is probably the most important thing so that moisture doesn't get in there and they get all squishy and soft.
That's right. So we can just pour them into, probably you're going to want a plastic container instead of a glass container if you're bringing them out on the trail. And then this can just go right in a backpack if you're doing a day hike. You can put it in a lunch pack, whatever you want to put it into a backpack for a quick and healthy snack when you're out on the trail.
Fun! Yay! Thank you. So yeah, chickpeas are really one of my favorite snacks.
Too. High in protein, really nutritious.
Yeah, very low in fat, and there wasn't a lot of oil in there. So.
And they're filling. They're really good. They're really, as opposed to maybe eating a bag of chips, chickpeas are going to be much more filling.
Yeah, and now we're going to kind of sort of think outside the box of something non-traditional for a trail snack, and doing these veggie rolls.
These are veggie rolls. So veggie rolls are really, I bring these out a lot when I'm hiking. It's not something I think people traditionally think of.
No.
But they are healthy, they're filling, they're pretty easy to assemble, and again, they'll go into a container rather easily into a backpack. So let's start. We will open this package. So these are spring roll wrappers. They're available at a grocery store.
Yep. And so these are going to get filled with a whole bunch of vegetables. So I'm going to start cutting a few vegetables, I think, while you play with spring rolls. But I am really going to be watching and listening because this is something that I've always really wanted to spend more time making, but just kind of there's a little fear factor for me here. So this is good. This is good.
Rolling spring roll wrappers takes practice.
Okay, so when mine fall apart here, it's going to be absolutely okay.
And mine still may fall apart here. And I've done this a number of times. So it takes practice, and the more you do it, the better you're going to get.
Okay.
What you're going to do is fill a pan. You want it to be wide enough that the wrappers can fit in with warm, not super hot, but warm water. So I'll go over here and do that.
Yep, and I'm working on vegetables. So these we have spinach, corn, carrots, red cabbage, cucumber. I think I have the whole list there. And I'm just gonna start cutting some and getting them ready so that we can have this little assembly thing happening. So just won't get all this stuff in the way because we've got energy ball ingredients here. So Julianne, so just some really thin strips, because I'm assuming to make these things roll easier, the thin heat is the important part.
Would you like me to start doing cucumber while you're doing?
Oh, right, because we have to have all the veggies ready to go before we can do this. Right, thank you. Yes, so we're going to cut vegetables. Because the method is going to be with the wrappers, they soak for about how long?
Anywhere from 3 to 5 or 6 seconds, typically.
Yeah, I was thinking minutes. I'm like, oh, we can have them soaking while we cut vegetables. Nope.
Not that long. And then you'll really get a feel for the texture. If they're really kind of sticky and bendy, then that's really when you want them to take them out of the water and start adding the vegetables to them. So we'll just cut up some vegetables here.
All right, so there's some. So I'm just going to put in the middle here. We've got bell pepper, cabbage.
Some cucumber there.
Cucumber. This is corn that I steamed last night. So we're just going to cut it off of the cob. And I assume, that we're just going to then break these into chunks to put on, as opposed to just using corn that's already off the cob. We kind of want to have these long pieces.
Yep, exactly.
And this is June, so this is not Vermont corn. This is Florida corn. that will come later. All right, so we're close, right?
We are. The fun thing about these as well is you can really put whatever vegetables you like into them. So if you don't like cucumbers, but you like avocado, you can cut up some avocado and put avocado in. You could cook up some mushrooms and put some mushrooms or onions in. So it's really up to you, depending on the vegetables that you like, what you decide you want to put inside.
And so the recipe talks about having chopped spinach. Like how fine? Talk to me about what that's supposed to look like.
You don't even really have to chop it up if you don't want to. You could just do a couple chops.
A couple of little
to make the pieces a little bit smaller, but it's not necessary.
All right. So I just did like a roll, bundled it a little bit the same way that I would cut herbs, and then just give it a little bit of a cross cut. Okay.
Excellent. I think we're ready.
We're there.
So we're just going to submerge it in the water, and you're gonna.
Oh my gosh! I don't even see it anymore.
Yeah.
It disappeared. It totally disappeared.
And you're just gonna kind of get a feel. I guess it's actually a little longer than 3 to 5 seconds, but you're gonna get a feel. You can put your hands in. You can still feel it's a little firm.
It does.
And so maybe the water has cooled off a little bit. So you like I said, not super hot water, but between warm and hot water.
Yeah, it's definitely cooled off.
It becomes, you can feel it becoming a little bit more.
Yes, okay, I can. This is totally by feel, where it doesn't feel like a stiff piece of paper.
It doesn't.
And it's just starting to become more gelatinous.
That's right, exactly. So this is about the consistency that you want.
Okay, I can see it wrinkly.
You can kind of see it a little wrinkly right here, and they will rip, and that's okay. So we're just gonna lay them on here on the cutting board.
All right, I'm gonna get another one. I'm gonna put some warmer water in here while you demo the first one.
And we're just gonna add some vegetables. So we'll do a few carrots, some cucumbers, and you want to lay them more towards the bottom 1/3 of the wrapper. We'll grab some corn and put that in here. A little bit more corn and a little bit of spinach, some cabbage, and some peppers.
And you are being wonderfully conservative with veggies, because my tendency would have been to
overfill.
Right.
Absolutely. And you can kind of play with it, get a feel. So if, we'll roll this, you're going to start by rolling the bottom, and then you're going to take the sides,
tuck it in,
and tuck those in, and just continue to roll.
Oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. Look at you. You're a pro.
Fun. So we
ready for number 2, and then I'm going to soak another one, and then I'm going to try. Whoops! And this one I've already created a challenge because I see a little tear. So
I'm up for the challenge. So I'll work with it. But if you have a tear, what we're actually going to do is move that more towards the top.
Ah, okay.
So again, we'll put some more carrots in here, some cucumber, and the rest of the veggies. And I think I might do a little bit more this time because I think I could have fit in a little bit more last time. So the cabbage and the peppers.
This is interesting. So I can really tell as I'm like fingering this dish here when it's ready, and it goes from having those stiff spots to being ready pretty quickly once it gets there. So I'm just sliding this over so I don't have to carry it too far. And oh my gosh, here we go. I am about to get messy.
And when these dry, they're really good at kind of holding the veggies in.
Okay.
So
a couple of carrots. A little corn. Oh, we're gonna see how this goes.
You want some cucumber?
Please.
Send some cucumber.
Send some cucumber my way. Little cabbage. Oh, I'm so excited. Mom used to make these. Aren't you proud, Mom? Oh my gosh, I'm making these. And some of that spinach. All right, I think I have probably overloaded it.
It's maybe borderline.
Would you agree? So, okay.
Just hold the veggies in towards the end, and then I think you may be able to do it. Perfect. Excellent.
Get it around. Okay. Excellent. As things are falling out the side. Are you guys all having fun? There's a WIC code up there, so you can be looking at the code and not my fingers. So if you know a family on WIC, here we go. We're going to wrap it ever so gingerly.
Perfect. Wow.
It not perfect, but it's kind of sort of.
That's excellent.
It didn't fall apart. Holy cow. Wow. I'm so excited. So WIC code up there. If you have a Noah family, if you're on WIC, call that code into your office. Tell them that you're laughing at Bethany spring rolls, and that will get your foods going, keeping them going for another 3 months or so. So while I am terrified to put this down because I have a feeling it's going to fall apart. No. Let's go to the container part because I think that's
put it right in the container?
I think
that's a good idea. So here's a container that will fit these spring rolls rather nicely. We can just lay them right in here.
Mine's going to go diagonal because
we'll fit the other ones in around that one. So we'll take the other two and just kind of fit
that was
them in
done on
here.
purpose. Look at that. Mine went nicely
this is actually
in the middle.
Prettier, I think, diagonally than this way. So that worked out very well.
So those will be finger food. They may be a little messy, but then we have a peanut sauce.
That's right.
That can go with. So we did peanut sauce for our Asian tofu last month, and this is similar, a little different. So I'm a big fan of peanut sauce.
Yeah, me too.
So let me send ingredients your way, and I am really going to challenge myself with practicing with another one while you guys are looking at peanut sauce going on.
Is it okay for me to use this?
Yes, absolutely. Right. Check whatever it is that you need. Ready? I'm going to grab another race
paper.
For
the peanut sauce, you can use peanut butter, you can use almond butter. If you have a nut allergy, I believe sunflower nut.
Sun butter.
Sun butter, thank you. Is a good alternative. So we're going to do about 1/4 of a cup of peanut butter. And I'm just going to put this, we'll pour right out.
Yeah, I think it's going to come right out well. Oh, this is so fun. And I love these things. I just have always been terrified. Oh, the other thing we were chatting about before we started filming was if anybody felt compelled to have a little additional protein. Obviously, the peanut sauce is some protein, but it's not necessarily a lot. Something like a grilled or pan-seared tofu in strips could go in.
Right. It
would just cut into the veggies. And from a trail perspective, thinking about food safety, especially if once it gets to be hot, then unless you're really traveling with ice packs, that's probably the safest protein to actually
stick away from the meats.
Yeah, kind of stay away from those animal proteins that are riskier.
So it was about 1/4 of a cup of peanut butter. We're going to do a tablespoon of soy sauce. I'm going to put that in here. And then we're going to take some ginger. And we're just going to mince up some ginger. So the ends off of that.
I think this one is looking a little better.
And people have different tolerances to ginger. Some like, lots of ginger. Some people don't like any ginger. So you don't have to put the ginger in. I'm a big fan of ginger.
I love ginger.
So I'm just going to do This is probably about a teaspoon or so of ginger.
This one's a little better. Those carrots are
Let's
still a
see.
little long, but it looks a little better tucked together. So yeah, practice.
Ooh, that's really
We've
pretty.
got a carrot hanging out here on the end, but this is kind of fun. Awesome.
That looks excellent.
Excited.
You are a fast learner.
New food for me to play with. Where am I going to put this little guy? We're just going to plunk him over. And
So then you can
stack
also
him on top.
put garlic in this if you wanted to. And we're just gonna kind of whisk this. And this is pretty thick, so we're going to actually add water until we have a consistency that we want.
And I'm just cleaning up my space a little bit so we can make room for energy balls that are going to happen next.
So this is pretty watery, and that's kind of the consistency I like. I like it a little bit creamier.
Oh, it is. That is thin. Yeah.
But if you want it thicker, just add less water. And what we're going to do is, if you have a container similar to this one, then it comes with a little handy smaller container for the liquid. So we'll pour that right in and put the cap on.
And that just becomes then just dip right into it.
Just dip right into it. And if you want to bring some silverware with you, if the spring rolls start to fall apart,
Oh yeah, like mine will.
then that will allow you to just kind of not waste any of the vegetables or the spring roll wrappers. It can kind of become more like a salad in a way. You could even pour the sauce right over that if that's what you want.
I love it. That's
so
great.
you can kind of eat it in a lot of different ways and still consume all of it.
We have my entire pantry over here, or most of my pantry, to do these energy balls that are kind of sort of, you can do with them what you want. So you had us soak up some dates ahead of time, and tell me about why we did that.
So the dates, if you don't soak them, then you're not going to get the consistency that you want. Soaking the dates kind of almost caramelizes them, which allows the energy balls to become stickier and form and hold together.
So the key ingredients, my understanding, for this version of energy balls, and we've done some different energy balls and homemade granola bars over the years, are the dates, a variety of nuts, which you want to put in them, and oatmeal, and some sort of nut butter, peanut butter, almond butter, sun butter perhaps. And then after that, it's
a free-for-all.
It's whatever you want to put in them.
Exactly.
So we're making a smaller batch, or we'd be sticky doing energy balls here for the rest of the afternoon. So what goes into the food processor first?
So I usually start with the oats.
With the oats. And so we're going to put in about 1.5 cups of oats, and these are whole oats. So a cup. And what goes next?
And then I usually do the nuts afterwards.
So we don't process this up yet, though.
No, I process
we're
that
all
with
going to
the
process
nuts.
up. Okay. And so what should we do? We've got sunflower seeds, we've got pecans, almonds, and walnuts, and we're putting in about 1 cup of this. So are we?
We could do 1/2 cup of 2 different kinds if you want to, or 1/4 cup of each. What? You want to do 1/4 cup of each to go really crazy?
Yeah,
Okay.
we're just going to go really crazy. So there you go. I'm going to go grab
right,
1/4 cup measure, or I'm going to take 1/2 cup measure and like kind of spoon things into it. Ooh, we're going crazy. I love it.
So this is going to be 1/4 cup there.
Sunflower seeds. Got clean fingers. I'm just going to put some almonds in my measuring cup, and yeah, truly my pantry. It's here. Always have lots of nuts around, and a few more pecans. So there's 1/2 cup of pecans and almonds into the food processor. Perfect. And then what?
And then let's process that.
Okay.
And while you're doing that, I am going to, you want it to kind of become a kind of crumbly mixture. I'm going to bring these.
Okay. Oh, I love that we're doing this ahead of time, because I was actually a little worried about this food processor, how it was going to manage all those ingredients in one fell swoop. All right, so that's looking crumbly. And so now the dates go in, as well as I'm going to go grab the peanut butter.
Awesome. So we're just going to
put
add a few dates in. probably about half the dates that are here. And we're going to process this. I'm doing that right, yeah.
So the recipe kind of says to like throw it all in one fell swoop, or just to even mix it in a bowl, but I'm really liking this in a food processor bit by bit. I think, it's all going to mix much better. Is peanut butter going in together with the rest?
And if you don't have a food processor or a high-speed blender, that's completely okay. You can still do all of this in a bowl. What you will want to do is either crush the nuts or chop the nuts if you can, and then still soak the dates and cut up the dates so they're in smaller pieces and mix it into a bowl.
Process again before we add the extras.
Yep.
And we're not going to add all the extras because I have brought lots of dried fruits and flax seeds and chocolate chips, so I'll let you decide. Though at this point, would you add a little water since it's not coming together?
Good idea. So as you can see, it's still kind of crumbly. I'm just going to get some water. And we'll just slowly add in water until it becomes kind of the texture and the consistency that we want it to. Do add to the top?
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll just add some more.
This feels like when I make pizza dough. All right, I think
add a little bit more.
A little bit more.
Good. And then you can always add some more
afterwards.
later.
Okay,
Yep.
great. And so into a bowl then
Into a bowl,
mix.
yep.
So we have some flax, chia, cranberry, chocolate chip, coconut. How many extra add-ins do you typically put in? You know, without it then overwhelming what you've done already.
Yeah, I'll usually do 1 or 2.
Okay.
I'm a huge fan of coconut chocolate mixture. I don't think you can go wrong with that.
You totally cannot go wrong with coconut and chocolate. So that is exactly what we'll
let's do the coconut
So when you
chocolate.
add-ins, how much of these do you typically add?
I would say about 1/4 of a cup, maybe 1/3 to 1/4 of a cup.
All together?
To 1/3.
Or each?
Each.
Each, ooh, okay. I like the way you think. That works for me.
Perfect.
And
I'll
we
start
are going to
mixing.
struggle to get to our mojitos. I don't know if we're going to. Wah!
Oh wow, this does go quickly. Very quickly. And you may need to start using your hands, which we've washed our hands ahead of time for viewers at home to know, but that's usually the easiest way to do this because they are so sticky. So that's exactly what I'm going to do, and we're going to need to do that
anyway. And I'm
anyway.
going to slide this next to you and pull some of the spring roll dishes aside. And so just get in there,
Just
mix
get in
it,
there, yep.
and then, oh
And
gosh,
then-
it is super sticky, isn't it? Wow. And then what? How big do you usually make these?
So I usually will take a tablespoon measure and just measure out a tablespoon or so and then roll it. They can be as big or as small as you want them to be.
Yeah, so depending on who you're feeding for snacks, and we were chuckling ahead of time, the nice thing, again, you control what it is that you're putting in for ingredients. So think of this as your substitute for granola bars. And the nice thing is everybody gets their own. And if you actually made the core recipe and then do your add-ins in separate bowls, then you can even customize for what your kids do or don't like, and there's no fighting over who gets what and what size and all of that stuff. So these are great, and these are nice. So while you could freeze them so that they're easier to pack and travel, they are actually manageable just like this to actually eat. So I am so sad we are not going to get to those mojitos. Wow, but the recipe is at the website, and so you'll be able to play with it there. I did not get my lesson on cutting pineapple, so Courtney's going to have to come back at some point so we can do that. So we're going to keep making energy balls and nibble away here. Thanks all for joining us. We will see you on the trail. Because I'm at the health department, tick checks are important when you get home, and be sure to put on some protection as well as sunscreen now that it's sunny outside. Thanks all. We'll see you next month. I think Grace Davey is going to be back, and we're going to be getting ready for some of her Everyday Chef programming this summer. So we're getting messy with peanut butter. We're going to have some snacks, and we'll see you all next month. See you later. Yeah.